Not even asking for a floss pick. Just asking for some dental floss.
How long was Albert a resident of the institution?
For quite some time. His first symptoms surfaced in his teens. Depression, panic attacks, and schizophrenia.
Was he brought here immediately after the first signs that something wasn't right?
You know, the biggest problem with an opinion on insanity is that animals are ashamed of it. That's the reason our institution stands out here in the middle of nowhere.
Because animals would rather hide what they're afraid to face.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
As far as I know, the Wessler family wasn't exceptionally wealthy.
Indeed, they were rather poor, but we offer our services gratis.
Then how do you sustain yourselves?
By the grace of the treasury of King Hector III, of course.
I wouldn't have guessed that.
My family and the royal dynasty had always been on good terms, Mr. Santino.
What the fuck am I gonna ask him about?
Tell me, Doctor, do you know Madame Zavas?
Just like everybody else, I've heard of her, but I never had the pleasure of meeting her in person. I'm sure she's an interesting case.
Establishment there?
Oh, you can be sure about that. I'd gladly get you two together if I had the chance. A spare cell would suit her very much.
Is that so?
As it turns out, she likes small, narrow, secret places.
Oh, I see. What a coincidence.
That sounds so weird.
What kind of a place is this exactly? I assume it wasn't built as an insane asylum.
It used to be a mansion. Construction started during the occupation in 622. Then it stood empty for almost a century, until finally it went to the crown of Cloville when Hector's great-grandfather took the throne. The rest is history.
How long have you
Like a mansion like
here?
this is built, especially back then, would be built for someone. No one's going to build this.
But it's been in my family's
willy-nilly trying to
for
sell
almost
it.
150 years.
So if I count correctly, as soon as it went to the crown, it was seized by your family.
That's
Like
almost
cookie cutter
accurate, Mr. Featherland.
McMansions
What a
did not
lovely inheritance.
exist. And this isn't even a McMansion, it's a full-on mansion.
Dr. Quetzal's a real mystery.
Time to get that 60%,
but I can turn
guys.
that to my advantage. I just need to focus on the strangest pieces of the puzzle. So when did Albert become a resident of your institute?
Albert and Hobart, or Ibn as you call him, arrived here almost exactly 4 years ago.
Could you describe that day more specifically?
It was not long after New Year's Eve, maybe the first week of the year, if I'm not mistaken. It was sleeting that day. Wind was banging incessantly on the windows. The power was going out for short periods of time.
What was your first impression of them?
I already knew the Wessler name. I knew who they were. Or at least I knew one of them, Hobart Wessler. He was famous. Gangster, moneylender, celebrity, lover.
What?
And Albert?
He was new to me, an invisible gray ghost. The family had tried to keep his existence a secret.
Why?
Because they were ashamed of him, of course, Mr. Featherland. That's how it usually is.
What was your first impression
You
of
could
him?
not talk about
He
mental
was
health back then.
silent, but observed everything that surrounded him. His eyes were constantly moving, never stopped for a second.
Was he afraid?
I wouldn't say so. It seemed to me that he wanted to move into our institution voluntarily. It looked as if he couldn't wait to be here. alone, locked up in silence and darkness.
Didn't
So
you
he
think
was
of
like,
that as unusual?
Of course I did.
yeah, he was
But who am I to
over.
judge? It was rather special treatment.
What kind of special treatment did Albert get?
You know, if an institution like ours has to accept a Wessler as a guest, there's bound to be some favoritism.
What do you mean?
And complete secrecy, I guess.
Favoritism to
Yes,
album or
but that's
Idis?
the case
Or
for
Ibit,
all
whatever
our
the fuck his name
patients,
is.
Mr. Featherland.
Of course. So in what way did he receive more than the others?
Basically, we don't admit anyone into our institution without a complete and thorough prior assessment.
So
In the
he's not
case of
insane.
Albert, we put that aside.
So you didn't even know if he had anything wrong with him?
Initially, no. He was more of a guest than a patient.
How did you see Albert when you first met?
Albert was
It said that he liked
shy
details.
and
I'm hoping this is
reserved,
right.
like a ghost. He almost never touched anything. It was evident he was exceptionally intelligent. He measured and observed everything around him.
What else?
He was delicate and graceful, almost like a woman. Yes. He was rather feminine. He was an artist, Mr. Featherland, a magnificent
that's why
painter,
he died,
and
you know.
a rather good writer, too.
He was
Sometimes I
creative,
even heard
so
him sing.
Why did he
the
have to be
feminine,
locked up?
I mean,
I asked the same thing at first.
okay.
Are you telling me
That might be.
Albert had multiple personalities?
We found out very quickly that there was no other reason for the cause of his seizures. He had a cold and calculating personality who sometimes, especially on stormy days, took the reins over their shared mind.
Oh,
He had these
shit.
seizures from the beginning.
Yes, Mr. Featherland, but they started to intensify after Albert left our institution for the first time.
He did what? Left the institution? More than once?
Oh, yes, Mr. Featherland. Albert left the institution on several occasions until the last
If
time,
he was
when
voluntary
he
in there, then
failed
he
to come
would
back.
be able to leave.
Quetzal's not only very observant, but he's addicted to details. I must focus on that if I want to get closer to the truth. Focus. Addicted to details.
That's why I did the last stuff.
When and why did Albert leave the institution for the first time?
It was about 2 years ago. Mr. Hobart Wessler appeared and demanded we let his brother go free. Naturally, we obliged. We had no idea if we'd ever see him again.
But you did.
He returned the same day. Albert was ecstatic. He was unrestrained. I could almost say happy.
That was unusual for him?
I had never seen him like that before, Mr. Featherland. He just smiled and stared at the empty wall for hours.
Did he ever tell you what happened to him outside?
Of course
Did he kill someone?
Albert and I had a good relationship. He was working on a painting for his brother.
Was it a painting of a lovely lady cat?
Oh, exactly. So you already knew about that.
Yes, Dr. Quetzal, I've seen it.
Yeah.
Has Albert ever talked to you about Natasha?
Only in superlatives, as if he wasn't talking about a real person, but an ethereal being,
So, was
about
he-
an angel or a demon,
Was he obsessed with
something
her?
that is not of this world.
And what did you think about his fantasies?
We are in an institution where almost everyone is hallucinating on a daily basis, Mr. Featherland. It didn't really bother me, but the fluctuations of positive and negative were more disturbing.
Thanks, Doc. I didn't
That's
understand
why
a word, but
I got
I
this.
think I get the point.
I'm not, I don't have like hallucinations. I'm not schizophrenic, but yeah, I do have bipolar and a few other things.
So Albert left on many occasions to continue working on the painting.
Exactly, Mr. Featherland. Every time he came back, he was like a different person. But unfortunately, his seizures also multiplied and became more dangerous.
More dangerous.
Albert was hurting himself, and on one occasion he even tried to hurt me. It was unprecedented. It seemed his confined personality was taking over their shared mind entirely, piece
Did you not
by
medicate him?
piece.
Do you think the painting caused it?
Not the painting, Mr. Featherland.
But its subject.
Exactly. He was obsessed, right until that fateful day when he returned to us for the last time.
What exactly happened that day, Doctor?
It wasn't Hobart who brought his brother back that day, but two of his gorillas. Not literally, I mean. And
Oh, it was
Albert
the
was in a
fucking ram
terrible,
and the
terrible
bobcat.
state.
What happened to him?
I don't like to talk about that, Mr. Featherland.
It could be vital to the case, Dr. Quetzal. Don't back down.
Oh, you're right. There's no use turning back now. So, Albert's tongue was torn out, or cut off, I don't know exactly, and he was blinded in one eye, or rather, one of his eyes was missing entirely.
So you're saying Albert was brought back horribly mutilated?
Yes. And they didn't give any explanation as to what had happened. They simply told me it was some kind of accident.
That's not an accident.
Dr.
There's no way in
Quetzal is
hell that's
cold
an
and
accident.
professional, but he's also very confused. Maybe it's cruel, but I must exploit his vulnerability if I want to learn everything about Albert. Focus. Confused. The two fellas who brought Albert back, could you describe them?
Those two fellas, as you put it, were two remarkably huge, rude men.
A ram and a bobcat, perhaps?
Yep.
No,
No?
one of them was a tiger, if I remember correctly. He had a rather fresh bump under his left eye, and the other one was a penguin. But I've never seen a penguin that big in my entire life.
Did they tell you anything besides it was an accident?
They didn't say anything,
Are you
but
saying the penguin's
gave an
back?
obvious signal that I had to keep quiet about what happened.
And here
I
you
see.
are, telling me everything. Thanks.
Pull yourself together, Doctor. What was Albert's condition after the incident?
Mind your tone, detective.
Sorry, Doc. I can see you're disturbed by these memories.
How could I not be? I'm not a monster. We're talking about a mutilated animal here.
So, what was he like after the incident?
Even more silent than ever. No surprise, I suppose. He was not only silent in
Yeah, he
words,
can't.
but also in
Okay,
his
so like he didn't
soul and
talk,
spirit.
communicate at
What do you
all.
mean by that?
He never painted anything again, and his seizures completely stopped.
Did he? Did that? Did that identity of him die?
What happened then? How did Albert disappear?
A few weeks later, Hobart came to visit Albert one more time. Albert had been in terrible condition by then. We even had to transfer him to another cell, a more safe one.
What did Hobart do during the visit?
He didn't do anything. He just sat and watched his brother, who was in an almost vegetative state.
Like he was
by
saying
then.
goodbye.
Couldn't you manage to draw anything out of him? You or Hobart?
Nothing. For a while, he was trying to signal something. Perhaps he was too afraid. And most likely his fingers had been broken too, so he couldn't even write.
Do you think Hobart could have killed Albert?
It's horrible to say it, but I'm sure of it.
How did he disappear in the end? Did someone come for him?
That's what's most eerie about it all.
You didn't mention his
Mr.
hands were broken.
Featherland.
All of his fingers were broken.
He simply disappeared. His door, which only I had a key for, was open.
Did anyone see anything?
No one. We interrogated the staff, even the patients. He simply vanished off the face of the wilderness. We don't know what happened to him.
Unfortunately,
The one
I
I
have a
went
hunch.
to,
Thank you, Doctor. You've been a great help.
Oh, well, I'm
even to
glad
go
I
out to
could
the
be of
fishbowl,
help. But
like
please, I now must
you had to wait
attend to
outside
my
the door,
work.
and then
We
somebody.
understand, Doctor. Thank you.
I fucking knew it. But anyway, yeah, you had to like stand outside the door, and then someone on the cameras would acknowledge who was there to go outside. And you had, like, when you came back in, you had to look at the camera again so they can verify all of you are back in there. It was crazy. Again, I only went out one time because fuck that shit.
Why do you have bars on your windows?
Because it's a room like all the others, and
If
I'm just an animal too, like all our residents.
With the significant difference of you being a doctor and not a patient. Am I right?
But a patient
It's
can
not
get access to
as
the room.
big of a difference as you'd think.
An isle of reason in a sea of insanity.
Insanity is such a strong word, and it's mostly an abstract idea. Where does insanity start, and how long is one not insane?
I'm gonna guess that,
Interesting
like,
questions. Am I normal?
Albert's
Or
room
are
has already been
you?
cleaned and
Maybe
someone
neither
else
of
is
us.
there.
You see, that's something I think about a lot nowadays.
If you like, I can give you an appointment.
Oh, this is your chance, Sonny. Don't miss it. We're already here.
Marty, clock up.
Huh. Okay. Albert Ressler disappeared. We have a hunch about what could have happened to him. Man, it's really fucked up if your brother fed you to some bugs. The half-century occupation. Since its foundation, an attempt to conquer Clawville has only been made once. The half-century occupation started in 622 and lasted until 677. During this time, the Harar Empire took over all of Clawville's territories except its colonies, which in the end, with the help of Swalasso and oh my fuck, that took back control over Clawville. Ivan most likely killed his own brother, Albert Ressler, and made Zip dispose of the body. This seems most plausible right now anyway. Professor's family has governed the mental health facility and its estate for more than 100 years. Quite a heritage, huh? He is cold, reserved, and endlessly professional in his own field, but the thing that happened to Albert even got a rise out of him. No surprise there, I think. Albert's brother Ivan took him out of the asylum on several occasions to paint that fateful picture of Natasha. I think we have a motive, gentlemen. Okay?
That's quite shocking information.
I think you understand why we kept it a secret. If it wasn't for Mr. Wessler's demand, we'd never let any of our patients walk freely outside our institution.
Then the accident happened.
Accident? We didn't believe it, not for a second.
Yeah, no.
After Albert came back to us, horribly mutilated, he was different.
Different how?
If someone got one of his eyes poked out and his tongue torn out, he'd be different.
Yeah.
But not like this. Albert was a different person.
Was he more dead
We
inside?
believe you, Doctor.
Was he
So, can we
more
take a look
angry?
at Albert's cell?
I'd rather call it his room. Mr. Wessler lived in exceptional circumstances.
Thanks to the Wessler name, I guess.
Yes. Well, we try to make all of our patients
Let's see
stay
how
as
it
comfortable
compares.
as possible, but Albert certainly enjoyed special favoritism.
I hope you don't mind if we take a look around in there.
That's not going to bother anyone.
I'm really surprised you didn't clean it up already.
Well, that's surprising.
I've never seen a cell like this before, that's for sure. I wouldn't mind living here myself.
It seems that being a Wessler gets you privileges.
And a healthy dose of danger.
Mostly
Okay,
that,
you got an
yeah.
armchair, a light.
Let's take a good look around.
Is that a
I'm sure
radio?
we'll find some answers here. I
Let's
can
see.
almost smell them.
Well, I smell paint,
Yeah.
ink, plaster, some
Look
kind of
at the
oil,
fucking-
aging paper, slight smell of rat, and great expectations.
What the dickens?
Yeah, what the fuck?
Unmistakable. Yeah.
This place is bad for you, pal. But if you've already jump-started your beak holes, then sniff out the solution.
I'm on it, Boss Bird.
I mean, painting. Who's this?
The style. It's very familiar to me.
It was at the
You've been lonely for
No,
far too long.
you should know
huh?
this too.
Not
it was
funny,
at the brothel.
It is, a little.
So there's a letter, photo of the Westlers. Were they both
Look at that. A letter.
were they both banging Natasha?
Identical twins. And looking at it, they may have easily loved the same
Oh!
woman. Two men and one woman. Nothing good ever comes of that.
Well, I wouldn't say that exactly.
Of all the wild ones, Marty, please,
Is
stitch up
even
your beak,
Albert?
okay?
Just use your imagination, old bird.
Scribbles. Newspaper articles, study papers, poems, perfect chaos.
Just like the troubled mind of a troubled fella.
Yeah, but there's still a kind of order in it. It's just too intricate for you to comprehend.
If you say so, boss.
I. Where's that letter? I know I don't exist. I don't exist because you don't see me. But I'm not what you think I am. You don't think about me, do you? No, never, no. I think of you every day, every minute, always. In my dreams, I have become one with him, one soul. You know who I am thinking about, right? Can you feel it? Can you feel that I am there too? With you? Do you feel it, right? I can't hold it in myself for long. Forgive me, forgive me, forgive me. Please, I'm sorry, but I can't help it. The world is crashing down. The whole world just rotting and rotting. Everything is rotting around me. I have to get out of here to become one with my destiny and one with you. Forgive me. Yeah, so Albert killed Ibn.
Albert was madly in love with Natasha and would have done anything for her. I'm afraid he did exactly that. Identical twins.
I wish it would
And looking
zoom
at it,
in on it.
they may have easily loved the same woman. What do you make of this?
Apart from the fact the guy was totally insane? I don't know. What should
He
I?
had to
Then
merge
maybe we've
himself
been
with his
chasing the
brother so he
wrong
can be with
person all this
Natasha.
time, Marty.
What do you
There
mean?
can be only
Everything will
one.
be revealed soon.
Why do you have to be so melodramatic all of a sudden?
If I'm right, this'll flip the whole case upside down.
What's that, Sonny? A blurb from some horrible novel?
I just have to think things through before I come to any hasty conclusions, Marty.
Ugh, you're killing me.
The fact that
So,
the tongue was
what
ripped
now?
out meant that
Where
he couldn't
to?
Back to
talk.
Clawville, where we can
The
finally
fingers were
put all
broken,
the
so he
pieces
couldn't write.
together.
He couldn't communicate in any
You're
way, shape, or
driving
form.
me crazy. But all right, let's go home.
The icing, I don't know why they did that. That's a really fucked up thing.
What can you tell us about the woman in the photo we saw in Albert's room?
Do you mean Miss Natasha Katsenko? Well, yes. I don't know much about her, but everyone heard her name and her voice around here.
Did she ever visit this place?
Never. But if you ask me, Natasha probably didn't even know Albert was a resident of our institution.
And Albert, did he mention her often?
Constantly. It was obvious he had an affection for Miss Katsenko, but I wouldn't have thought for a moment he could escape.
Did she
because
know
her.
of Albert
I
at
wouldn't
all?
jump ahead, Doctor. Something else could be behind Albert's disappearance.
Do you think so? All the signs clearly indicate this.
Maybe they do, Doctor, but in my line of work, logic's not always the best advisor.
In 99% of cases.
Exactly. But this one typically belongs to the remaining 1%.
If you say so.
Yep, I'm calling it. Albert is alive. Ivan is dead. Or Ibn is dead. Albert fell fatally in love with Natasha. Was that the reason he had to die? He didn't die. Alright, hotel outlets. Let's go.
Oh, I don't believe this. Those two again?
Take him out. My car won't last much longer.
Don't worry, Sonny. I was born to do this.
Where's Big Bird? Oh, is she in the fucking trunk?
Concentrate, Marty, for the God's sake.
Can you drive like you're not a fucking lunatic?
Shut up and shoot, you big feather pillow. Are you blind or what? Where did you learn to shoot?
Make him crash.
Whew. Well, that was close.
A little too close for my taste. And it only strengthens my belief. Wessler is
What kind of
desperate.
info could
He
I get
knows
on
if we
that?
survive, he's done for.